Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first new character unit vehicle of 2024, the STAP. We finally unlocked the STAP the other day, and the question is, are we entering into a new era for General Grievous taking on the game? Maybe? Today's going to be a little bit different than usual character views because I'm going to be honest with you guys. The STAP isn't doing anything great right now. And honestly, if it wasn't for the Omicron that we're going to be about to walk into in Grand Arena, it feels like hot poo-poo doo-doo. And it kind of feels like a downgrade for General Grievous. But I'm going to tell you that the age of Grievous is here. We just got to be patient. We're going to stop, collaborate, and listen because I'm going to tell you about this brand new invention. Something has got a hold of Grievous tightly. The RNG is going to flow daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Check out the STAP and I'll flow. Okay, I'll spare you. I'm sorry, guys. The biggest problem that we're going to have, that we're going to see, is that the STAP, a lot of the important viability is truly just baked inside of the Omicron. And before the Omicron, it's just not good. It's much better to keep your Newt gun rate or maybe even Droidica. But I'm going to tell you and show you with this Omicron, and we got to wait. It's going to be a huge deal, and it's secretly a General Grievous rework baked into an Omicron. So instead of a free rework or an Omicron for Grievous, they kind of snuck it in here, unfortunately. But I'm so confident that the Grievous team is going to be so much better in Grand Arena. I took him to Relic 9, and I even took the Separatist droids up to Relic 8. And I'm ready for what's to come, better or worse. So let's really dive into this. I normally just start rolling some gameplay for you guys. However, the gameplay was less than stellar. We will show some at the end, but I want to have more of a deeper dive on this. And first off, let's talk about the mods. The thing that this has going for it, it literally shattered the speed record for non-legendary characters, where you can really push the speed on this guy. I was able to get him to over 390 yesterday. Currently, I have him at 385. He is lightning fast, and he's going to get a lot of bonus turns. But for more in-depth modding guide, we're going to show Pimpo's lovely graphic that he shared with us. So make sure you hit up Pimpo if you yourself need some modding advice or help or remodding your roster from top to bottom. Pimpo will definitely help you out. One of the best modders in Galaxy of Heroes, period. Definitely want to shoot for some speed sets. A potency set sounds like it's going to be nice too, to make sure we're landing consistent debuffs, but really speed and offense is the way to go. And the STAP has some pretty good physical offense that it's running with. So what I want to do first is I really want to prove or demonstrate hypothetically that this should be a big deal for General Grievous. There was a lot of weirdness and vagueness around this unique ability and how it's going to work, but during the stream the other day, we were able to confirm how this operates, and it gives us a lot of optimism for the future. So let me show you. Question number one, people weren't believing that this was going to get 6 bonus turns. A bonus turn at the start and then 1 for each enemy that takes their first turn. We are going to show that definitely happens. But the biggest problem that we weren't able to really solve, and I think we locked it in mostly, is this overcharge mechanic leading to max health increases. A lot of people were thinking it's only going to increase max health once and that's it. But as we're going to demonstrate, it's going to increase it 5 times, because when you get these stacks of overcharge, you're going to get 5 stacks on we need to recharge. It triggers this 5 times. So for each individualized stack of overcharge, we're going up 20% max health. And that right there means General Grievous, turn 1, because we get a bonus turn, is going to essentially double his max health. Is a big deal. And the reason why we care about max health, let's do a little reminder. General Grievous, all of his damage is just based off his max health. So if you're essentially doubling his max health immediately from turn 1, and you're going to obviously do it repetitively throughout the battle, hypothetically, in turn 1, Grievous's damage should double, and it's going to grow even more. And we're not even going to consider the fact that he's going to be increasing his max health via unique ability, Metalloid Monstrosity, where he gains 5% max health and potency for each other droid that gets affected by all the health siphoning that he does. So let me show you and prove to you how this will work with the Omicron. And unfortunately, we're just not going to see it in Squad Arena, and we're not going to see it inside of Territory Wars. And again, that's one of the purposes of Omicron, to make crazy characters in certain aspects of the game. It's like everyone loves Wampa and Savage and whatnot, but outside of Grand Arena, we don't like him. So we have to treat this kind of like a Wampa, kind of like a Savage, where we're going to have to wait to see if this is possible. So the good news is Tier 2 on the Repulsor Craft Reconnaissance this marquee event, they turn on the Omicron, and this just shows us how the mechanic operates. So all I want to demonstrate to you, we're using the event General Grievous. It shows us the max health is very, very low at 58,000. Says no mods, no relic 7 or 8, 9. And this is where things could get a little complicated with how the math is working out. But let's try to keep it simple to show you the potential here. First thing we're going to notice, we're going to get that bonus turn at the very beginning, which is a big deal, which enables us to utilize the STAP's massive increase in max health. Turn 1. We're going to start the battle. We're going to go ahead, we need to recharge, which is going to give us 5 stacks of overcharge. And as we're going to see, we're going to heal up 5 times, which means there are 5 separate instances of that unique ability being triggered. So I want you to watch this. You're going to see a bunch of indications that health and protection are being recovered. So we're going to use this, I like to either target Magna Guard or B2. We're going to do Magna Guard so we can get the taunt up. So watch, you're going to see a bunch of stuff happen. We'll do it in freeze time so you can see what happens. But here we go. We click it. Multiple instances. So some people thought it was only going to happen once. Definitely not the case. It's 5 separate instances of health and protection recovery. And also, we're seeing with the math, we are getting 5 separate instances of the max health increasing. So a few things to dissect here. The biggest question is this right here. Is Grievous having simple addition max health increases where we just take his base health of 20%? This is my math on my main Grievous. And then every time overcharge triggers the unique ability, we only get that max health increase. Or is this a compound effect where it's always doing whatever the max health is currently times 1.2, and then when you do it again, you take that new number times 1.2, kind of like compound interest. The thing that I'm noticing here is the 4805 is obviously the protection recovery because Grievous's max protection is 48,053, so that makes sense. But as you can see, the other numbers here is showing the health recovery, and as you can see, it's not the same number. It's constantly increasing. Where one instance we get 8,241, another instance we get 9,418, and then the final instance, I assume the final instance, 10,595. However the math works out, we're seeing that the health is increasing several times. We're in this situation. So anyways, hopefully the point is proven that at least we're increasing Grievous's max health 5 individual times, not just one. So that's going to be big, as I'm going to show some rough numbers here on my Grievous. The other important thing is the multiple bonus turns. So again, we're going to start the same thing, same drill off. Let's go ahead, do that, nicely done. And now watch, every single time that the enemy's going to get a turn, we're going to get a bonus turn. So let's just go ahead, drop this down. There we go, nicely done. All right, so now watch, we're going to have Hunter come in here in a second, take a turn. Oh, hold on, Grievous wants to get in hard. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just not do any special abilities. There we go, hold on. And then Hunter's going to take a turn and watch. All right, so then our STAP is going to jump the line. Very nice. So now we're going to do basic. Now eventually it looks like Omega's going to get a turn. And then this is what proves that we get multiple bonus turns here. Boom, we get it. That was our 3rd bonus turn that we got there. So let's again just do basic, and I want to show you again. Tech is going to get a turn after Magna Guard, of course. All right, and there we go. Tech is going to take a turn, and as we're going to see, STAP is going to jump ahead because that was Tech's first turn. So there we go. So we proved that this is going to be awesome in Grand Arena. We're going to get 6 bonus turns, the one at the beginning, and then 5 for each enemy taking their turn. And on top of that, we're showcasing the fact that we're able to increase Grievous's max health 5 times. And let's do it actually one more time. This is another thing. You're gonna, with all those bonus turns, you're likely gonna come back to we need to recharge very quickly. So let's go ahead, run it again. We're gonna just call in Magna Guard for the assist, and here we go. And there we go. So as we can see, Grievous's max health was increased yet again. So take this in a Grand Arena environment where Grievous will have the Grand Arena Omicron turned on this guy. We're going to double the max health right away. Grievous's damage is based off max health. So hypothetically, Grievous's damage should be double. So ultimately, talking about the real world, like my Grievous, before we calculate any of the stuff, the health here is 170. That is a lot of max health. So when we get into Grand Arena, the STAP has the Omicron on. Turn 1, we're getting the bonus turn, and we're going to do the overcharge several times. The math is going to work one of 2 ways. I think it's probably the simple addition approach here. There might be a chance it's the compound health, and compound health is when things get really nutty. So long story short, if we do the simple addition where every single stack of overcharge is just taking the 20% of the original max health we start off with, that means each stack is going to give me 34,625 health on Grievous. You do that 5 times, Grievous's new max health right at the very beginning is going to be somewhere around that 350,000 max health. Holy cow. If the STAP is getting multiple bonus turns, it's likely going to use that we need the recharge ability again. So assuming we get another stack of 5 on top of what we already have, let's take the probable scenario. So we had 346,250, and then we add another 173,129. Within likely the first 30 seconds or so of battle, Grievous could, this is probably realistic, have 519,000 max health. And the reason why I'm spending so much time on this is because I'm going to start showing some gameplay. It's hard to see the vision right now, so we need to be a little optimistic. We need to kind of see beyond the weeds of what's going on here, because the STAP, unfortunately, as it stands without the Omicron, I actually think in some circumstances it actually makes the Grievous lineup worse, and at best it doesn't really move the needle for the Grievous team. It's great that it has a lot of speed, of course, and it can start off really quickly outside of Grand Arena, and it's got nice AoE capabilities, which if you hit the target locks, it feeds a lot of Terminator to the Grievous team, of course. But really, that unique ability really holds back the general Grievous team. There was a time I was fighting against Shock T and has Arc Trooper, we just couldn't get any turns because the stupid unique ability where anytime we take true damage on the STAP or a droid on the team, we're losing 15% turn meter. So I was basically stuck. I couldn't get my turns in. And oftentimes, instead of using Newt Gunnery, we use STAP. I felt like the battles were going worse off. It just felt like Newt Gunnery was just the better unit to have as it stands, or Droidica, or Watambor, or whatever, before we get into Grand Arena. So this is one of those units we really need to be optimistic. We need to have a vision. CG just was not giving us what we wanted to see turn 1. Granted, Squad Arena is not important. It would be nice if they implemented a way where at least temporarily people can try this out in Squad Arena to get a little bit more excited. CG's great on not capitalizing on hyping up their own units a little bit by letting the community test things out. But the way I'm imagining STAP, and we'll come back and we'll check how things are in 3v3 Grand Arena, and more importantly 5v5 Grand Arena. It sucks, we might need the weight of mind to really see the full picture for Grievous. Oh, that's kind of funny to think about. But the way I'm imagining this is that this could probably be great in one of a few scenarios. Let's say you want to use Grievous on offense, which I don't know if that's going to be the direction I'm going to take this unless we see we can take down Galactic Legends with all those multiple bonus turns, which aren't restricted if a Galactic Legend is present. So we got to wait and see how that works out. But on offense, the nice thing is with STAP getting so many turns, it's able to help you get health and protection recovery consistently, sort of like how Marin helped with the Night Sisters. Night Sisters were such a bad banner team. Now they're like a max banner team. I think STAP will help in that regard. But more importantly, it's going to ramp up Grievous. So if we are able to take down big teams with all those max health increases, whether it's a simple thing or more of a compound thing, Grievous is going to be dishing out two times plus more damage onto the enemy team, therefore working through these battles a lot quicker. So my hope is Grievous can beat the things that generally cause them some problems, like for example Zori teams, maybe General Skywalker. Who knows, with all the damage, maybe it can do great up against things like Darth Traya potentially. But the way I'm seeing, where I'm setting my expectations right now, there's kind of a demand for better defensive teams that are kind of a struggle to be in its vanilla state. Obviously we're ignoring Datacrons because Datacrons really mix things up, but what I imagine is this team on defense could be a massive banner sniper, with the STAP constantly taking turns, using AoEs, spamming out debuffs, and then of course General Grievous supercharging his max health. When you do start taking out droids, just imagine Metalloid Monstrosity, Grievous taking that bonus turn. His Metalloid Monstrosity is going to hurt so much harder just based off the simple mathematics that we worked out. And when you got to maybe go through 4 droids, you could be losing lots of members on your team. So again, this could really be stripping banners, because right now we don't have a lot of banner stripping teams in Grand Arena, at least in the Kyber 1 aspect. As it's presented to me right now, this is definitely the most underwhelming unit we've had, but I see the vision. I have hope that this is going to be great for Grand Arena, maybe not so much for Territory Wars. I use it inside territory battles and it was fine. I think a lot of us are hoping the STAP was going to be kind of like how the Marin revived, literally, pun intended, the Night Sisters without even needing the Omicron. That is not the case here, and there's kind of like a little, scaling meter here, where you have characters that are so good they don't need the Omicrons. So think of like Zori, Captain Rex. I guess Marin's kind of in that category too. And then you have characters that are all right outside of Grand Arena without their Omicrons. So think of things like Star Killer, outside of Grand Arena, but when you're in Territory Wars, you can utilize him. And there's other characters, Omicrons amplify. Malicos is another great example. And then you have things like Savage, Wampa, and I think we're gonna put STAP in this category too, where outside of Grand Arena, it's just really bad. It's not usable. It's a downgrade in some aspects. But when you get in Grand Arena, again, the hope, we'll have to wait and see if this is gonna pan out to be true or not, or maybe I'm being too optimistic here. I think this is gonna probably be like a Savage, Wampa, Qui-Gon Jinn type of Omicron, where you're gonna see a massive performance, not just for the STAP, but being able to utilize that secret Omicron rework that's baked into Grievous which technically is connected through the STAP. So there's a lot of benefits that we just can't see. We're missing out on probably like 60-70% of the kit right now. And on that note too, I think this also could have possibilities of being 3-star viable if the goal is to simply quickly double Grievous's max health and then get a couple more bonus turns so we get another round of increasing Grievous's max health. That makes this something that might be viable even at low stars. But again, it's impossible to see that vision now. But if you can look into the future and have a little bit of foresight maybe and a little dash of optimism, I think we can maybe agree that even at low stars, this should be good, assuming it can survive a little bit. And it's going to be under stealth turn 1, so it's not like Han Solo can nuke it right away. But I'm going to wrap it up right there. We definitely went into the weeds a little bit. Unfortunately, there's nothing really amazing to show right now. But hopefully I was able to give you the optimism that I think we need right now to really see the vision that CG may have had in mind for the STAP. Come back later. Next week, we'll see it in 3v3 Grand Arena, maybe Grievous STAP, and, you know, doing something like Magna Guard or B1, B2 is going to be nice. But more importantly, I'm excited for the 5v5 Grand Arena potential, but we're still, you know, a few weeks away from that. Thank you for stopping by. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember, until we meet again, how it's great to be in the Empire today.
The sun never sets. We dominate.